Welcome to SF DocFest Filmmaker Feud, where we polled the movie-going maniacs of SF Indie Fest and DocFest, another hole in the head, and are matching their group answers against our esteemed filmmakers we have assembled for this year's festival. We've got a great game today, so let's get to know our contestants a little bit. First up, we have The Untouchables. Jill Scheinfeld, what is your film in the DocFest?
So, my film is, I should say our film, because it's Gail and Jill, but Gail's on the opposing team today. It's called Out Loud. It's a documentary about the transgender chorus of Los Angeles, and it chronicles their first season. And the film culminates in their public debut concert at UCLA. So I'm based in Los Angeles, and we filmed back in 2016. So many years on and off to get the film finished, and we're thrilled to be here.
That's exciting. We're really happy to have you here. Have you ever played a game show at a film festival before?
Never. No game shows. No game show ever. Film festival or not a film festival.
That's just one of the many ways DocFest stands out from the rest. Thanks for playing, Jill. Zeke, you're here with The Last Blockbuster, correct?
That's right.
Where is The Last Blockbuster, and what is your documentary more specifically about?
It's The Last Blockbuster video rental store is located in Bend, Oregon. And the documentary is about the rise and fall of a corporate giant and how a manager at a franchise was able to save one store and keep it thriving in all this craziness.
That's awesome. That's very exciting. Have you ever worked for like a franchise company?
I've pretty much been a writer and filmmaker and stuff my whole adult life, so no, I don't have any realistic point of view.
Not the guy who's gonna like work at the final 7-Eleven.
That does sound fun because it would probably come with free Slurpees. But
yeah, there you go.
So if the offer's on the table, maybe I'll take it. It probably pays better than documentary filmmaking.
Next up we have Cheryl. What is the film you have in DocFest, Cheryl?
So my film is called Resisterhood. It's a feature documentary about the power of women, hope, and resistance in modern American politics.
What got you interested in the subject?
Well, I think I have to go back to the fact that I am a military brat. My dad was in the Air Force for 30-something years. And so I was raised on American exceptionalism. We actually would talk about the fact that we lived in the greatest country on the planet around the dinner table as a child. And when my dad he was a fighter pilot in Vietnam. And so I really believed, that this is the land of equality and justice for all. And I have since learned that not everybody believes the same thing. And so after the 2016 election, I decided I had to do something about it and try and find something that portrayed closer to my vision of the United States than what I'm seeing right now.
Awesome. Well, I look forward to seeing your movie at DocFest. Thanks for coming and playing the game.
Thank you.
Next up, we have Lucas Larson. How's it going today, Lucas?
I'm pretty good. And yourself?
Doing pretty well. Would you like to talk about your film?
Yeah. All right. So my film is titled The People Who Suspend. It's an exploration of past cultures over the past few hundred years, as much as it's been documented in various forms of body modification, and specifically the practice of suspension of the body from piercings through the skin. And so there are a lot of people in current society all throughout Western society who have sort of adopted and sort of reimagined and repurposed these rituals for very different reasons, lots of different reasons. So I traveled through the world, 11 countries specifically, interviewing and actually doing suspensions with these people.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The things that are done here, no one would have imagined were possible before these people really started pushing the envelope of what the human body can do and the limitations the mind tries to put on what you can do to your own body.
Well, that's the Untouchables, and it seems like it's the team to beat, but we haven't met the Fantastic Four yet. So let's meet our next group of challengers here on Filmmaker Feud, starting with Chelsea. How's it going, Chelsea?
You know, it's going all right. It's going all right here in smoky San Francisco.
For sure. Windows closed, everybody.
Yep.
Chelsea, what is your movie you have in the fest?
So my film is called Bleeding Audio. It's a feature documentary about a band called The Matches, who come out of Oakland, California. And we really, the film is a documentation of their journey. It's a very intimate telling of how they navigated this career, being a band that was set to be this next big thing. And we use their milestones to further explore how the industry has changed for musicians in the digital age, but also to showcase how the community of music is basically what's keeping bands alive today.
That's awesome. So it's a local doc, but I mean, they must have fans all over, right?
Oh my gosh, yes. Fans all over the world. So they've been amazing throughout the whole process. We had 2 Kickstarter campaigns, one for production, one for post. Of course, as all the other doc filmmakers know, none of it was ever enough, but they supported both of them, and yeah, they've been amazing.
Since DocFest is online this year, does that mean people from anywhere can enjoy the screening?
So my understanding is in the U.S., yes, and I've already
Cool.
had fans show me their ticket buys and everything. So we've got a whole army of them that are going to join the screening, and they're very excited. They've been waiting 6 years for it. So.
Oh, that's so exciting. Well, we're glad to have you here at DocFest.
Glad to be here. Thanks for having me.
Rob, welcome to Filmmaker Feud. What is your film in DocFest?
My film is called Roy's World, Barry Gifford, Chicago. Barry Gifford is one of America's greatest writers and storytellers. He's probably best known for Wild at Heart, which David Lynch made into a film. And later he and Lynch collaborated on Lost Highway and a few other projects. But long before that, he grew up mostly in the 1950s in Chicago and has written a number of stories about his Chicago childhood. So my documentary uses those stories as a sort of impressionistic way into exploring that time and place with lots of archival footage and a jazz soundtrack and lots of other cool stuff like that.
That's awesome. I'm a Barry Gifford fan, so I'm very much looking forward to your film.
Cool.
All right. Coming up next, we have Gail. How's it going, Gail?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing pretty well. What is your film in DocFest?
So I produced Out Loud with Jill, my enemy on the other team.
Yeah, this is like the biggest test of your teamwork.
Yeah. So I was the director and cinematographer on Out Loud.
Is this your first film?
No. No, I have a few decades under my belt doing documentaries for National Geographic, Discovery, etc.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to DocFest before?
No.
Well, sometime when this is in person again, you'll have to come up for the actual in-person festival.
Would love to, but delighted to be here today.
Glad to have you, Gail. Glad to have you on the Fantastic Four. And finally, from all the way from Abu Dhabi, we have Nizar. What is your film in the festival?
My film is Unlocking Doors of Cinema. It's a creative homage and conversation with a 80-year-old Syrian auteur who's been making films since the late 60s. A little bit of a rebel, but not a victim to all the catastrophes and tragedies that have been going on from the 60s all the way to yesterday. Yeah.
That's very exciting.
Yeah.
Well, thanks everyone for playing. It seems like this is a smart group of filmmakers, and we're about to put that to the test with round one of Filmmaker Feud. Our first matchup for round 1 is going to be Jill from the Untouchables versus Chelsea from the Fantastic Four. Jill and Chelsea, we polled SF Indie Fest, SF Doc Fest, and other hole in the head film goers to find out their answers to the following questions. And before I get to the question, I will say, please keep in mind the audience of Indie Fest and Doc Fest and another hole in the head are kind of maniacs. So let that inform your answer here. These are not your run-of-the-mill polls about movies. These are die-hard movie fans with sometimes upsetting taste. With that said, our first question. What is the most iconic Disney movie? Jill.
Bambi.
You buzzed in first.
Bambi.
Bambi.
Bambi. Yep.
Bambi's on the list. We're going to go to the Untouchables now. Zeke,
Okay.
according to members of filmgoers of Indie Fest polled, what is the most iconic Disney film?
I think they're going to say Fantasia.
Number 1, yes, the most popular one. Also, to go back, Bambi
My
was
least favorite.
Great. So going on from Zeke, Cheryl, what is your answer to this question? The most iconic Disney film according to Indie Fest film goers?
Well, it sounds like we're kind of going old school. One of my favorites is Dumbo.
Dumbo's not on the list. 1X on the board.
Come
Sorry.
on.
Okay.
Going now to Lucas.
I'm going to say Beauty and the Beast.
Beauty and the Beast is on the board. Number 5. So going back to Jill. Name an iconic Disney film. According
Snow
to
White and the Seven Dwarfs.
You're on fire. That's on there. Zeke, back to you. What is the most iconic Disney film?
That they would pick the Three Caballeros.
X'd out. Sorry. Okay, Cheryl. Last chance for your team. You got 1 left. You got 2 strikes.
Go,
What's it gonna
Cheryl.
be?
Go, Cheryl.
Iconic. Oh, I'm only doing this because it's a great film and it's coming back again. Mulan.
Sorry. So we're gonna throw this to the Fantastic Four.
They're
Do you guys
charging
want a chance to
$30 for
confer and give us your final answer?
Let's go for Lion King. Are we?
Yeah.
Do we feel Lion King? Does that feel
Yeah.
good?
Yeah, I feel Lion King. Yeah.
Okay, let's Lion King.
No.
What?
Oh.
The remainder movie was Cinderella.
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 Right?
Oh, all the princesses.
Oh.
Yeah, so many
Okay.
princess ones.
Not the
I
cat.
almost
from
said
Outer
Little
Space.
Mermaid, but guess
Yeah,
not.
Little Mermaid was another one I was thinking too. But cool.
Hmm. Interesting.
That was a good one. Do you guys feel okay? Okay, round 2 of Filmmaker Feud. We'd like to welcome Zeke and Rob to the virtual stage. Are you guys ready?
So ready.
I am ready.
Guys, we polled the film-going audience of Indie Fest, Doc Fest, and Another Hole in the Head to ask them, what is the most interesting political documentary of all time? Rob.
The War Room.
It's not The War Room. I'm sorry. This is going to go to the Untouchables.
Oh,
So-
boy.
Starting with Zeke, according to the film lovers at SF Indie Fest, what is the most interesting political documentary?
Maybe Fahrenheit 9/11?
Yeah, got one on the board. Next up, Cheryl.
Political documentary. Oh gosh. How about Roger and Me?
It's not on the board. X out. Sorry.
It should
Okay.
be.
Sure, yeah, you're right. Lucas, according to the filmgoers of SF Indie Fest, what is the most interesting political documentary?
Let's see. Does Capitalism a Love Story count?
X'd out. One more chance.
That's
Going
Michael
to
Moore.
Jill.
Okay.
I'm going to say the Edward Snowden documentary is Citizen 4.
Spaced out.
Oh.
Sorry. We're going to throw this over to the Fantastic Four, starting with Gail.
Since they skewed so old on Disney, should we say like The Making of the President?
It's a good one.
Sure.
Chelsea, what do you think?
I have not that many political documentaries in my repertoire of having seen, so I
don't know if it's showed in the U.S. The act of
Nazar,
killing,
what
I
do
don't
you
know.
think?
Well, Act of Killing is a recent one, very political documentary.
Yeah.
Joshua Oppenheimer. But I don't know if that would be well known. But,
Would
yeah.
Shoah be considered a political documentary or no?
I don't think so.
Okay, time for you guys to present your final answer.
Okay, I'm going to go with Act of Killing.
Unfortunately, it's not Act of Killing on the list. Sorry. So the final list is number 1, Fahrenheit 9/11. Number 2, The Fog of War. Number 3, The 13th. And number 4, Dark Money. I will say, editorializing for a second, all these results shocked me, and I would have given any of the answers you gave. Also, sidebar, Jeff, it's funny because we were originally going to ask about Michael Moore movies specifically, and that's what everyone's answers were. And
Yeah,
Well,
now we know.
it's interesting
Next
too what the
year.
definition of political documentary is. Like, what is the specific definition? Is it about like people who are like running for positions of office, or is it about things that are inherently political?
I mean, looking at people's responses, and they were just going on, the question of the game. Looking at people's responses, it was, I would say, 75% people and 25% issues. Time for round 3. We'd like to welcome up Cheryl and Gail to the virtual stage. Cheryl and Gail, we polled the filmgoers at SF Indie Fest and asked them what are the best animal movies of all time.
Oh, wait. I can't click this thing. There we go.
Cheryl, you got it. What is your answer?
I'm going to go to one that we mentioned earlier. I'm going to say The Lion King.
That's number 1. You got it, Cheryl. I'm going to stick with the Untouchables. Lucas, we polled the filmgoers of Indie Fest, asked them what the greatest animal movies of all time were. What was one of their answers?
Blackfish.
No, X. Sorry. Going on to Jill now.
March of the Penguins. March of the Penguins?
X. Sorry. Next up, we have Zeke.
I'm going to say Lady and the Tramp.
Oh,
Sorry.
Oh,
Okay,
no.
we're going over to the Fantastic Four for a chance for them to steal. There's 20 seconds on the clock for you to confer as a team and get back to us with an answer.
I think Babe, you guys. Babe.
or
Babe.
Old Yeller. Old Yeller.
Or Dumbo.
Yeller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Black Stallion. I don't know if
Black Stallion's a good one. I'm trying to think though. The difference between like Babe and Babe Pig in the City. Babe Pig in the City is pretty dark, pretty twisted. Seems like maybe
Just have to get one to steal the points.
Paddington
right.
Bear. No, I'm.
Oh, Paddington Bear. But is he an animal or is he a stuffed animal?
All right, I need your final answer.
I can't. I don't know.
Can I
Just pick one,
Go
Gail.
for it.
Okay.
Go for it, Chelsea. Go for
Okay,
it.
Chelsea, yeah.
I'm gonna go for Babe Pig in the City.
I'm going to take it because Babe Pig in the City is better. Babe was on the list. I'm going to accept Babe Pig in the City. So the answers to that were number 1, Lion King. Number 2, Teddy. Number 3, Sam Fuller's White Dog. Sharknado.
Sharknado?
Airbud.
Really?
Airbud. Oh my
Airbud.
god.
Airbud.
Classic.
Sharknado. Okay, we got to get in the Sharknado mindset here.
I know.
Please don't make me.
Fucking White Dog.
Okay.
That's the
Number
craziest
2.
answer. Okay.
You know that if Blockbuster was still open, they'd have a whole Sharknado section, right?
They do have Sharknado there.
Oh, yes, we have the expert here.
They are still open.
Welcome back to round 4 of Filmmaker Feud by SF DocFest. We polled the film-going audience of SF Indie Fest to answer the following question, and we're going to bring up Jill and Nizar up to answer it. The question is, who is the most glamorous movie actress of all time? Jill.
Rita Hayworth.
Rita Hayworth is not on the board. Goes to the Fantastic Four, starting with Nizar.
Kelly.
Grace Kelly is on the list. You guys have it. Chelsea, you're up next.
The most glamorous.
Yes.
That's the question. Audrey Hepburn?
Audrey Hepburn is number 1 on the list. Rob, we polled the film-going maniacs at SF Indie Fest to ask them who the most glamorous actress to ever light up a movie screen is. What is your answer?
I'm going to go with Ingrid Bergman.
X. Gail, you're up next.
Liz Taylor.
Yes. We have, you guys gave us 3. We have 3 left. So we're going to go back to Nizar.
Greta Garbo.
Greta Garbo, X. Okay, Chelsea, you have 2 X's, 3 names left.
Oof. Most glamorous. Nicole Kidman?
X. Okay, on the Untouchables, you'll have 20 seconds to steal it.
I think
Marilyn
it's Sophia
Monroe.
Loren.
Marilyn
Sophia
Monroe.
Loren.
Oh,
Could be Marilyn Monroe.
and Marilyn Monroe. Oh, those two are both good.
Mm.
I don't know if we have 2 that are left on
Glamour,
there.
glamour, glamour. Betty Davis? No, I don't know.
Not between Sophia Loren and Marilyn Monroe. I think they're the 2. In my opinion.
Well,
Okay,
yeah,
what is your final
Sophia
answer?
Loren is more glamorous, but Marilyn Monroe.
I think so. Whatever you guys think.
Final answer.
who is it going to Zeke? Who's saying that?
It's our
As a
team.
team, what's your answer?
Oh.
Our team.
What do you think, guys? Marilyn or Sophia?
I think Sophia, but it might just be my personal choice.
Final answer.
Sophia Loren.
You got it. You got points for that.
Oh.
So the final countdown, or the final results for that one are Audrey Hepburn, Elizabeth Taylor, Marilyn Monroe, Sophia Loren, Grace Kelly, and Divine.
Love it.
Yeah, this is San Francisco Doc Fest, isn't it?
Yeah.
Certainly is. Welcome back to SF DocFest Filmmaker Feud. Heading into the second half of the game, all bets are off. Fantastic Four have 39 points. The Untouchables have 65 points. However, in this next part of the game, every question is worth 10 points, so it's still any person's game. For the lightning round, we invite one person up from each team to ask them a series of questions about the city of San Francisco. They have 30 seconds to answer all 4 of them. And we're going to start with Jill from the Untouchables. Jill, when was the last, this is not a question, this is more of a friendly question. When was the last time you were in San Francisco?
You know, the last time I was in San Francisco was last summer. It was August 2019. Visiting family.
Okay, that checks out. I just checked with your mom. She said that's true.
Oh, good. Okay.
You know,
Okay,
Jill
do you
does
feel-
documentary films because she repeated your question in her answer.
That's amazing.
Thing.
This is the trailer for this show right there. Okay, Jill, do you feel ready for this barrage of questions to start?
Yes,
Okay,
definitely.
let's put 30 seconds on the clock.
Very ready.
Starting now. How many years do you live in San Francisco before you can say you're from San Francisco?
Never.
Who's more popular, the Giants or the 49ers?
Giants.
What is the most famous San Francisco band?
Dead Kennedys.
And finally, what is the best TV show set in San Francisco?
The Streets of San Francisco.
Excellent, with 1 second to spare. So our most popular answers were, how many years do you live here to be able to claim you're from San Francisco? 10 years. Who is more popular, the Giants or the 49ers? The Giants. I editorially take issue with this, but this says the most famous San Francisco band is Journey. I'm going to go ahead and give Jill the point for the Dead Kennedys. That's the correct answer.
For sure.
And the best San Francisco TV show, Jill votes with the majority with The Streets of San Francisco.
Jill, you killed it.
Very good.
I watched that as a kid. They used to film, I used to sometimes see them filming the chase scenes down certain hills.
Now it's the Fantastic Four's chance for the lightning round. We'd like to welcome back up to the stage Chelsea. Chelsea, how are you feeling today?
Well, you know, a little nervous, but
when was the last time you were in San Francisco?
right now.
Whoa! Are you ready for me to start the clock?
Sure. Let's just go for it.
All right, let's put 30 seconds on the board. And what is the most popular cheap beer in the Mission?
Oh, Pabst Blue Ribbon.
What is the best movie set in San Francisco?
Ooh. Vertigo.
Frisco, yes or no?
Oh God, no.
How many years have I been to Burning Man?
You, Mike Keegan, personally?
Yes.
Probably at least 8.
And the number of years I've been to Burning Man is 0.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah, but you should give it to us anyway, just like you gave them the Dead Kennedys.
Yeah.
Come on, I'm talking bias here.
Yeah, exactly. I made it funny.
Well, this was a great game of Filmmaker Feud here at SF Doc Fest. Thanks to our teams, the Untouchables and the Fantastic Four. Unfortunately, every game has a winner and a less winner. And the winner of today's game is the Untouchables with 90 points.
Yes.
However, the Fantastic Four do come in with the superior number of 69 points. Thank you so much, everybody. We really look forward to watching your films, and thanks to everyone for tuning in to Filmmaker Feud.